Alright guys, how's it going? We've got the semifinals here, Bleed versus Zving. On the other side, we actually have one of our very own Mazarites, the Mod, the Great, versus Donnie Ray. Interesting how this one turned out with Zving and Bleed on the same side of the bracket over here. That's because Donnie was the first seed, so you know neither the second nor the third seed should be on the same side as him, based on how seeding works in general, just in case you guys are wondering. So Bleed and Zving were bound to fight here to see which one would win and go up against Donnie in the finals, pending, you know, seeding works out the way that it is intended to. Obviously, upsets are great and do happen, and hopefully will happen. But yeah, that's basically how seeding works. It's all like an assumption-based system that the first seed will get to the finals, and yeah, just a little background on seeding in case you guys aren't sure how that works for brackets. But so let's get into the matchup here. We have Zving versus Bleed. Both of these players very used to fighting each other. Oh my god, used to fighting each other. Wow, Bleed, while putting out the rip command, gets first hitted by Zving there. And let's see what abilities Zving took. Actually, it doesn't look like he okay, he's taking one of each, whereas Bleed, of course, went for the 2 points in his one. Wow, nice double tap, but look at Zving, so tanky because he's opted into the Mark of the Vanguard. A great choice here. Very strong item in general, but Zving putting himself a little out of position here. I don't know, if Bleed hits a double tap here, it could be death. Nope, very nicely avoided. Sunder came out for Cabraken there, and unfortunately does not get anything off of it other than the fact that he ends up surviving. Bleed took a tremendous amount of damage from that right there. Double tap use. Oh, this could be bad. Nice shield wall and a meditation popped from Bleed. Very well done. Almost baited Zving there, but Zving able to make it out regardless. Had he popped the meditation earlier and tried to get the double tap off of that wall, maybe could have resulted in a first blood against Zving, but he did have quite a bit of pots popping or ticking there. There it is. Wow, no, it's not there for Bleed. The double tap yet again just off the mark. And I can't tell if, in all honesty, these double taps have been more on Bleed's part for missing them, or has it been Zving dodging them, because Zving's been very quick on his reaction. The Tectonic Rift is not long enough to secure a double tap at this point, so I think it's been more of Zving dodging them, but you let me know, guys. What in the world? What? In what world did Zving see Thor getting hit by that? I don't know, but he puts out the rip because he knows he just fucked up. This is a very tough position to be in right now for Zving. Bleed has a lot of options to go in here. If he hits the Tectonic Rift, a double tap could be the end. Bleed not able to finish him off with that there. Doesn't have his one up yet, so he's just got a lot of pressure now, though. Going to be able to force the wave in. Won't be able to take the red, though, because he doesn't have the mana for it. But will force a wave in, while Zving will have to, you know, be sent back. Will miss out on at least one creep here. Nope, you know, he actually got the experience with that creep. The interesting thing is that Zving might have the option to take this red buff before Bleed gets here, but he's going to opt against it because Bleed, on his way back with his global ultimate, would be able to disrupt him without any hog on Zving's side. So neither player opted into hog here. A lot of these low tiers you see go into hog, but in all honesty, the hog meta is usually used on these lower tiers against higher tier gods. So if you're opting for the best late game and early game potential, or best late game potential and mid game potential, you would really go something other than that hog. Ooh, Zving finally with the best ultimate possible there, and oh my god, so close. Bleed still able to ult, or not ult, but you know, Mjolnir out of there because he was able to wait out the stun duration and then get out. The stun just not long enough yet to keep Bleed locked down. Yo, what's up, Danny Game? How you doing? So why CDR boots over pen boots is a good question here. In all honesty, I think the pen boots would work, well, in most cases, the Guardian doesn't have as good a late game. This is going to be dangerous for Zving. He doesn't have a meditation available. Bleed, misses the first and the second tap there, but without a meditation available, he's got no mana here, and Bleed has a lot of options on his side, so you got to be very careful. He recognizes that and he's going to back off. Bleed gets a free red buff here because there's no way Zving can contest it without any mana on his side. So very nicely played by Bleed there. Recognizes that he forces him out, takes the red buff for free, and you know gets a great little lead there. So most Guardians need that extra burst in the early with the pen boots to ensure that they start snowballing. Cabraken, on the other hand, has one of the greatest late games, or the greatest late game out of any Guardian. Pending maybe Athena. Okay, yeah, no, so second best. And he doesn't quite need the pen boots in this kind of a matchup where Thor has a strong early game, but not as strong a late game as this Guardian. So, in all honesty, I give this matchup to Cabraken in the late. So, I think this is actually a good option for Zving to go into the cooldown boots here. Very nice ultimate, and Mjolnir is not available for a little bit here, so Bleed's actually going to have to ult out. Option to reaggress, he does, but completely off the mark and takes a tower shot for it. Gonna go straight into the blue here, but would be unwise to take it, so it was actually just a bait. But gets out of dodge. No damage done to Zving. Ooh! Great Sunder. Is he done here? Wow, beautiful meditation. Both of these players playing on such a similar caliber here. Very, very well played by both so far. Not a lot of mistakes other than Zving's initial ultimate there. And the actives from both players are very, very well chosen. The meditation from Bleed, the Sunder for that early burst from Zving, as well as that late game burst. I mean, the thing is, Bleed is most likely going to opt into 2 defensive items if Zving proves to have too much burst for him to handle with just the Bulwark alone. So the Sunder is going to do a lot of work going into this late, given that it does that protection shred. And the meditation for Bleed is going to be able to help him out in any situation where he gets bursted very low. So I really like both of these choices here. Nice little tectonic rift there to slow Zving down and prevent him from getting to that creep wave as fast as he'd like to. So obviously a big plus for Zving here is that he can disrupt the Berserker Barrage very easily with either of his stuns. Whiff 2 there for Zving. Won't allow him to continue this aggression. He's going to back off unless Bleed stops him, which he does. With Mjolnir's down here, he's got a really good option to actually ult there, I thought, but you know what? Look at fucking Bleed, dude. Picking up this, I didn't even recognize the talisman. Picked up this early, second item talisman. The scum of the world. Oh, wow. Is he going to be able to finish this? Does he have his 2 available? He does. Zving picks up that first blood. Very, very well played. Sends Bleed packing with that dirty-ass second item silver talisman, man. Ooh, Zving with the hot rip emotes, dude. He loves that rip emote. Okay, so you gotta respect the fact that Bleed recognized that the early burst from Cabraken is quite potent, so he went into the silver talisman. But when you think about the fact that Zving went into cooldown boots here and is going for the late game with this Warlock Sash, I actually would have rather seen Bleed go into a Jotuns here, because his early game is really where he's going to shine the most. If he's valuing his late game over Zving's, then he's going to have a little bit of a problem here, in my opinion. Could be wrong. Could turn out to be a better late game for Thor, but I really think that the option is for Cabraken here. Or that the advantage is for Cabraken in the late. Another red buff going to be taken by Bleed because he's got the safer clear here, and There it is. Oh, wow. Very nicely timed from Bleed. You got to give both of these players credit. Both of them have great mechanical skill. Bleed might have to ult here because he's kind of in a rough position if Zving advances. Wow, just off the mark with that 2. I got to say, that 2 from Cabraken is quite difficult to hit while chasing your opponent down like that. So I understand these whiffs from Zving. Especially because this is not a god that he often plays. You know, this is a B tier tournament, so it really tests the ability of the players to, you know, to reach deep in their god pools and, you know, play with some gods that they don't practice very often. So for Zving to be missing that ability, you know, from here and there, I think it's more than expected or more than reasonable. Ultimate from Bleed, he thought he might be able to catch out Zving, but either way, he gets clear off of it, and sometimes it's justifiable to use that ultimate just to get back to lane. You know, it's not ideal, but you know, he failed the gank, and doesn't matter too much for him because it's not a priority ultimate for him here. It's not like Zving's ultimate where it's crucial for his combo. Really nice options from... Oh my god! Does he have the Mjolnir available? He does, but he's opting to try to stick around and bait Zving out. Interesting, because, I don't know, in this position... Wow, he actually uses the Mjolnir's... oh my god, to clear the way of risky business, but he knows Zving doesn't have his ultimate available, so he's good to stick around and farm here unless he, you know, overextends a little too much. Bleed very nicely using his range there with the clear and staying just out of range of Cabraken's abilities at the same time. So nice job from him. For those of you that don't know, actually, Bleed was just recently. Well, we had beef, basically, me and Bleed. We had some existing beef for quite a little while because mostly like values and stuff that would come up. You know, Bleed is a very active member of my community, and sometimes if people, you know, are very either very vocal about like completely differing opinions and you know, things that like we just don't agree on much, we would tend to argue a lot. And then there was like a big incident where he kind of like scummed me in a way that I felt was like a little too much, and I was just like, you know what, I'd rather, you know, like things don't continue for us here, man. And then he actually asked to be banned, and like this whole thing happened. But I'm very, very happy that we were actually able to put those differences aside. Both of us kind of, you know, apologized for the things that we had done, and, you know, like a community, we, you know, hashed it out, and we were able to, you know, come back from that. He's back, he's active again, and he's the boy. So very nice to see Bleed back. I'm very happy to see him performing well in this tournament, and we got you know, we got a great matchup here. Interesting that the gold is so close despite Zving getting that first blood. It's just the reason that Zving is not able to continue his lead against Bleed here and really work it. Wow, is that a shell from Bleed? Actually, really interesting. I thought it was a shell from Zving, but it wasn't. Wow, great double tap. Bleed just using every option available to deter Zving's aggression here, you know, and very, very well done each time. Well, he can't secure a kill of his own. He's able to... Oh my god, I didn't even see that he was in the ultimate there. I didn't hear it. I wonder if Zving did. Just off the mark yet again for Bleed. Keeps trying to catch these backs, but unsuccessful so far in them. Diddy appendages? That sucks. Zving lead appendages. The famous Geb, who actually went Bacchus in that matchup. Who is Zving appendages? So as I said, this late game build for Zving really being the thing that's deterring him from continuing snowballing this lead, but he doesn't want to snowball here, you know, that's literally his choice. Oh wow, Bleed actually, did he get that? Wow. Yeah, Bleed did, and he's laughing. Hey, he's laughing, and Zving says, "I'll destroy you." That is quite, quite fitting for the for that scenario there. So yeah, he's literally going for the late game. You know, he doesn't care about snowballing this one out. He's built into Warlocks, he's built into Breastplate in that order, and that's just not a powerful early game build. You know, it's a build that's strictly going for the late. Whereas Bleed is actually also building towards the late game here, going straight into Chin size, and Chins is the appropriate option for him because there's no scenario in which an assassin can burst down a Guardian in the late game with the amount of defense and the amount of health that the Guardian has. There's no way that Bleed would be able to contend with the late game Cabraken unless he goes an auto attack build. So in all honesty, I'm looking for Bleed to probably go like a Frostbound last item or something here, along with that Chins to just lock down the Cabraken and keep up the aggression with the auto attacks. The Chins is going to be a beautiful option for him here because both Cabraken's natural health scaling and the fact that he went into Warlocks, he's constantly increasing his own health, and Chin's obviously a great response to that. So I like this from Bleed, and he's also going to Soul Eater, which is a completely broken item right now. So even though it's, you know, quite a little bit strange to see on a character like Thor, it seems to be a great option here simply based off of the fact that it's giving him attack speed, it's giving him the lifesteal is not so important, but the heal on it really is, because when Zving goes to burst him down, he's going to have quite a bit of oomph to, you know, bring himself back into the engagement. It's pretty crazy, actually. It's just like a second meditation. It's literally like you have two meditations by building that item, and it also gives you quite a bit of attack speed. So it's really something that I was expecting to see changed for this next patch, and yet it wasn't. Yeah, the Mark of the Vanguard really made this early game tough for Bleed. So, like I said, such smart optimization in itemization from these players. Unlike Bleed, Zving successful in catching that lazy back. Oh my god, the taunts are so on point right now. Like I've always said, the taunting in a friendly matchup like this is quite different from you know, the BM of taunting somebody that you don't know, right? I actually enjoy this kind of taunting when it's friendly and it's, you know, and it's playful and it's competitive in its own way, you know. So Zving with that Obsidian Shard finish, you can just see chunking Bleed there. Going into a Polynomicon here is Zving, and I like to see that because it's so successful in push potential, one thing that Guardians always lack. Bleed, can he make something out of this? An amazing Tectonic Rift there is going to lock down Zving in this position. How do you... Oh, bad ultimate from Zving there. Tries to create an option for himself, but that was certainly not it. Will he... Wow, actually, Bleed quite tactfully manages to swing that that Berserker Barrage around just well enough that Zving could not find the stun on him. Takes him out, and will be able to most likely take his tower down here. Look at such a small respawn timer on Zving, but I actually like that respawn timer is small here because he has such a lead, you know? If the game worked like that in general and Bleed's respawn timer wasn't that short, because Zving is in the lead here, the game would be a much better place, you know? Duel would be in such a better place. And I actually talked to High Risk Chris about that, and he agreed. So I'd love to see them actually implement that. Or he at least agreed that he was going to talk to the other devs about it and see what, you know, what they thought. So I think it's something that, you know, would be really good for Duel, and something that, you know, as long as they make it so that, you know, the snowball isn't too real, because everybody always worries about that. In all honesty, you guys, snowball is not the biggest worry in Duel. It at least makes the games competitive and fun, rather than seeing 30-minute games of people Titan camping. So to everybody that cries snowball is going to be OP, like, I honestly just disagree so much, because at least the games are enjoyable if they're based on, you know, people outplaying through the early and mid instead of just playing for the late entirely. Wow, what an interesting engagement this is. Both players just going at it, and Zving so low here, but Bleed can't find the option. There it is. Wow. Bleed just playing this beautifully right now. That auto attack build, and in all honesty, like I said, I think this late game should go to Cabraken, but I really think it's to the credit of Soul Eater that Bleed is able to win these engagements. I think that item alone is just so broken that it's able to keep Bleed relevant in this auto attack build, so much so that he'll be able to win this matchup in the late despite having a worse late game based on paper, you know? That item alone is just carrying it. Because late game auto attack Thor shouldn't be strong enough in this position to take the Cabraken down, especially because Frostbound, which I actually said that I was hoping to see earlier, wouldn't be great against Zving because he's got the slow immunity on his 1. So you know, in this particular matchup, auto attack should not reign supreme, but that exact item is single-handedly carrying the auto attack build. Misses the first tap there, but does hit the second. Zving being able to fight back well against this, but let's see. Watch when the Soul Eater comes into play here. Bleed knows that he can continue aggressing. And Zving looking like he's given up hope here. As you can see, there's going to be the F6. You can tell just by his reaction to how that engagement was going. It just really unfortunate that Soul Eater is that strong right now, man. And I honestly think I might consider banning it from tournaments in the future, just because you know, I like to react and adapt to the way that that these matchups play out, and I think that item is just a little too strong. Not to say that Bleed, you know, wouldn't have won that anyway, and that he, you know, wouldn't have outplayed, because he certainly did outplay in many engagements there. Just that item really bothers me with how ridiculously strong it is in a duel setting like that, you know? So great job by both players. What a competitive and interesting game to watch. Always entertaining to see these two players go at it, and wow, what a game. Good stuff to Bleed. He advances onto the finals. Zving gonna take that 4th place tie along with Maserati's here. Unfortunately, we don't have a 3rd place matchup because I don't have a you know, a prize for 3rd place. So it's gonna go straight on to Donnie and Bleed here in the final matchup of